Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's Catch Up with the Experts. Today, we are joined by the lovely Lee Hamilton from Prestige Holidays, who is their General Sales Manager for the UK. Thank you for joining us, Lee.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Perfect. So today, we're going to ask Lee a few questions about the Prestige Closer to Home product, just to give some clients the ideas of where they can travel to in the UK. You ready to go?
Yes, please.
Brilliant. Right, so our first question today is, how has your Closer to Home programme been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, first of all, we're lucky to have an existing Close to Home programme, which has been going probably close to 15 years now. So that's been a tried and tested programme we've had going for a long time now. Lots of tour operators, you'll notice, have jumped on the bandwagon this year because they wanted to take advantage of what the holiday market is doing. We've seen some really good growth from 2020 to 2021, obviously to date. If we wait a little longer, then that will start changing because we're just pre-COVID in this side of 2020. So we've seen about a 28% increase in new business compared to last year. So that has been fantastic. You'll see loads of numbers thrown about by different tour operators on growth, etc., and some fantastic 1,000% up and things like that. But you have to bear in mind certain percentage of that is rebook. So from last year, we weren't able to operate many holidays like all of us, unfortunately. But we did manage to secure about a 72% rebook rate. So from 2020 holidays that we've put into the 2021 period. Autumn 21 and through into 2022 is looking really healthy for us at the moment. But bear in mind, obviously, that's on the back of a very bad year last year. So things are looking good. And certainly it's still looking good. It's still going very busy for us at the moment with this product. And it's great because we've got really strong relationships with these suppliers in these destinations. And we pick the destinations we know in the UK. We don't just pick and cherry pick where we think looks good. We know these destinations that we pick in the UK. So it's a very good programme, very good programme.
Fantastic. So our next question, what new practices have the hotels, airlines and ferries put in place to be COVID secure?
I would not want to be in their shoes because I think they've had a hell of a job to deal with this. The problem you find with a lot of the UK and the Channel Islands properties is that a lot of them are historic buildings, and they're very limited on what they can do. They only have one entrance in and out, and they only have certain rooms for the restaurants. They find it very hard to expand so they can put social distancing in place. But they have done really well. I mean, the same with the properties throughout the world. They're doing the staggered check-ins. So instead of groups of 30 turning up to check in at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, well, that would be an early for a hotel, more like 2 in the afternoon. So they're doing the staggered check-ins to avoid too many crowds at check-in. They're doing with the dinner options 2 or 3 set dining times. So instead of just, turning up at whenever you want they're doing the set dining times and using table service as opposed to any that offered the buffet service before, and that applies to both breakfast and dinner as well. Those that have the option, they're looking at more outdoor seating. I know a lot of the properties in Jersey and Guernsey have done this. Great when you've got the option to have the outdoor seating, but a lot obviously don't have that. So where they don't, they're putting in the tables, one table in between 2 and not filling that table to allow for the distancing. A lot of them have these horrid screens in. None of us want to use them. None of us want to sit at a table with a screen either side. There is no other option. Some are doing it really nicely, and you eventually learn to just ignore that completely. Obviously, the staff are in the masks that are serving your food. They're having really deep cleans of the hotel rooms in between clients staying. And yeah, they are doing their best in what is a very trying time. It's generally the cleanliness, and I was lucky enough to go to the Isles of Scilly in between the lockdowns actually, and they did a superb job. At the ferry, for example, over there, they're blocking out every other seat. A lot of the boat trips between the islands are on open air boats, so you're actually outside, you're all masked up.
Fantastic, yeah.
And they dealt with it amazingly. I think it's this islander attitude of, it's almost like survival. They're very good at dealing with things like this and just adapt to what they need to do. But I didn't feel uncomfortable at any stage, and I am someone who's quite nervous of COVID. So yeah, they're doing their best they can.
Brilliant. So where is popular in the UK within your portfolio for new bookings?
In hindsight, I wish we had a lot more self-catering options to offer people. Certainly going to be on the cards moving forward. Self-catering is clearly done very well out of all of this, and you can understand it. Families and larger groups want to go away, be away from everyone else, and just enjoy time together. That has really benefited. We do have a number of self-catering options in our portfolio, but the majority of what we do is more bed and breakfast, guest house, hotels, castle stays, that kind of thing. So they've really benefited from that also. Yeah. Certainly one of the big benefits out of the lockdowns has been that we found that people are really re-engaged with the British Isles and that traditional proper holiday you remember as a kid. And also with nature as well. We've seen, you see images, I think it's probably changed a little bit now, but videos of jellyfish swimming up the canals in Venice and stuff like that. And nature sort of flocked back and repopulating areas, and people are really coming together with that as well. But the destinations that we're really seeing that have been strong for us is the Isles of Scilly. It's always been strong for us anyway, but this year, unfortunately, and we hate doing it, we are unfortunately having to turn away people because we just can't get the availability. It's very, very difficult.
They look
availability.
absolutely stunning.
It is stunning. The picture behind me is the picture behind me is very much a beach. It could be anywhere. It could be the Caribbean, could be the Indian Ocean. I've been lucky enough to go to both. And this is actually the Isles of Scilly. This is Pensil Bay in Tresco. Wow. When you get it on a good day with nice weather, it literally looks like that. It is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, so the Isles of Scilly, it's long been a sort of well-kept secret in the UK. So I would say if you're looking to go or you've been waiting for the chance to go, try and go now, because people are going to start becoming more aware of this with the number of people that are going over there now. Scotland has also done amazingly well for us as well. A little bit easier for availability because they've got a higher bed stock. Yeah. And something I've learned this was only introduced into our program last year, actually, great year to obviously introduce this, but it's got an absolute wealth of opportunities and different holiday styles. We're doing a lot with the Caledonian sleeper train from London traveling up there at the moment. That's a really popular option. And apart from the train station, you get your own cabin, so you literally can keep yourself to yourself the whole way up. And also our Isles of Scilly tours, we've run them for numerous years now, and they feel just incredibly well that we're putting on extra dates now where we can. But yeah, certainly the Isles of Scilly in Scotland have been absolutely, demand is outstripping bed stock, unfortunately.
Brilliant. Fingers crossed we can hopefully have a good summer this year.
Yeah, there is still some availability there as well, so don't be put off, but it's difficult to be choosy over dates, cost and properties, so we are finding people are being extremely flexible just so they can get out to these islands.
Brilliant. That brings me on very well to my next question, Lee. What is availability looking like for summer 2021 and 2022?
I almost answered that all. Look, it's tricky. Everyone wants to stay in this country at the moment. Sorry, I say everyone, that's an exaggeration. People seem to be, perhaps earlier than I thought, resigned to the fact that maybe they won't get further afield this year, and they're looking to have an experience in this country. So hence, the demand is, like I say, really outstripping the supply of the beds. Isles of Scilly only has a certain number of hotels on the islands, which is very small anyway. But Scotland, there's plenty of availability still there. And also the Channel Islands as well. So Jersey have been very proactive in reopening the island, whereas Guernsey have been very cautious. So they've had a completely different attitude towards this. But there's definitely still availability there. Certainly towards the latter end of September. So if you can look at which at that time of year, and I've been in most of these destinations at that time of year, the weather's superb, or not guaranteed, but generally it's quite good at the end of September. But the other thing to bear in mind as well is Britain has never been cheap for holidays. It's never been a cheap destination for people to go to, but we're finding that people are accepting of that, and people perhaps haven't spent their holiday funds from last year and have a bit more in their back pocket this year to perhaps put on a UK holiday. And there's some fantastic experiences that they can have in the British Isles and the Channel Islands.
Fantastic. So our last question, what is Prestige's booking promise for new bookings?
So above and beyond everything, I think, and we spoke about this pre-interview, we've always had a very fair and flexible approach to everything. And I think that's why we've retained our good name for all of this. And we've certainly had fantastic feedback from agencies like yourself and clients directly, just to say how prompt we've dealt with everything and how fair and flexible we've been. The key thing is if you're making a new booking with us now, and your holiday or your potential holiday is affected by government travel restrictions, lockdowns, or FCO advice against travel in your destination, so obviously that won't apply to the UK, but Europe as well, or there's an enforced quarantine in the destination, so you arrive in the destination and of your 2-week holiday, you've got to spend 7 days in quarantine. Doesn't sound like much fun. We've got the 3 R's, so we'll obviously prefer to rebook you to a later date or a different destination. And we'll work with you on that to try and find a suitable alternative, different dates, different hotel, different destination, whatever we can. And we'll try and, where possible, there won't be any difference in price unless it comes from a supplier. So, for example, if a supplier has a higher airfare, we may have to pass that on to you. But we certainly would never charge an amendment fee. We won't ever make any extra profit out of your amendment. It's not your fault you've had to do this, and we'll work with you to try and get a suitable outcome. The next R is a refund credit note. Widely publicised. In simple terms, it's a credit held on for you that's protected by the ATOL scheme. Those at the moment are valid to be redeemed by the 30th of September, but we're thinking that may get extended. We haven't had news yet that will be extended, but we think it may do. And that's something that has really helped the industry out through a really difficult time. And then the third option and the third R is a refund. So if you want to take a refund, if we can't rebook you for something that's suitable and you're unhappy to take a refund credit note, we will of course give you all your money back if, like I say, the government's enforced travel restrictions or there's travel restrictions in the destination. And all of that is hassle-free. It's not that we won't quibble about it. That's your options. Let's work together. Whatever option you want to take, that's what we'll go for. We do always strongly advise clients take adequate travel insurance now more than ever. And also on the back of that, we encourage people to book through travel agencies like yourself. I think it's sort of shown to everyone now why it is so important to book through travel agencies and tour operators. I've had friends who have had horror stories in trying to get money back out of certain suppliers. We won't name any of them, but it has been difficult. And then, and equally, thanks to our travel agency partners like yourselves, you've all been superb, and it's really you at the brunt of it. You're the ones that have to work through difficult times to try and help these clients, and you've all been superb. So, thanks to all of you for that. But I think the good thing is we can see an end in sight now. The vaccine is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, at the start, we were the laughing stock for all of this, and now I think we're a country to be proud of with the vaccine and how we're rolling it out. Certainly, it's going to help with the nationwide travelling, Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. Once we're all vaccinated, there shouldn't be any restrictions on travelling within the UK. We've just got to wait for the air corridors to open up for Europe so that we can start getting out there and going a bit further afield.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lee. So just one last question for you. Do you have any top tips for our clients?
Top tips, definitely book now because the availability is going. Please book now. Talk to our travel agency partners who can in turn talk to us. We can give you numerous suggestions. There's an absolute multitude of things to do in the UK. We're just looking at a family holiday for ourselves up in Scotland towards the end of August. It was something we were probably planning in a few years, but I think the same as a lot of other people, they're seeing this as an opportunity to go and do something in the UK, which perhaps they weren't going to do for a few years on. But we're looking at Scotland, the sleeper train, which I mentioned before, Ben Nevis, we're going to Loch Ness, we're going to the Cairngorms National Park. This is all within a 7-day self-drive itinerary. I mean, it's just superb. It's fantastic. And the Isles of Scilly, easily in my top 3 destinations in the world, and I've been lucky enough to travel quite a bit of the world, and it truly is a magical place. It really is. So top tips, definitely book early. Definitely ask the experts like Natalie, who in turn can ask us as well if she doesn't know the answers, which I'm sure she will do. And we'll tell you what to do. I think we're the fastest booking engine out there. Tour operators and travel agents. We know where it's available. You don't have to sit there and trawl through the internet and try and find what's available and what the cost. We know what's available. We talk to hoteliers all day, every day. We know what the airlines are doing. You need to get on and book your holiday because the availability is diminishing quickly.
Perfect. That's lovely. Thank you so much for joining us, Lee.
Thanks,
And we really appreciate all of your top tips there. So thank you. And everyone, we look forward to seeing you for our next episode of Catch Up with the Experts. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.